Hello everyone, I've got Ultron with me today because I'm resuming my Age of Ultron series. The previous episode of this series aired on Halloween when I showed you my toy box for the freighter Churchill, which belongs to the arms dealer Ulysses Claw. Ultron raids this ship to obtain the vibranium he needs to build himself a new indestructible body. Today I'm going to begin showing you how to build that toy box, and in order to build it exactly as I have it, you'll need the Star-Lord's Galaxy Terrain Customization Power Disc, as well as the Kiln textures and objects that are unlocked with the Escape the Kiln Toy Box game from Disney Infinity 2.0. So I'm starting in an empty toy box, and I'm going to build this toy box from the bottom up. It's going to be much easier that way. Even though it plays from the top down, it would be much harder to build it that way. So I'm going to build it from the bottom up. So the terrain block we start with here that I'm standing on will be the bottom of the ship. And I'm not going to worry about all the little details today. Those will fall into place once we have the framework all laid out. And before we start building, here's some screenshots of the inside of this freighter from the Age of Ultron movie. This will help guide our build. You can see the lower area is filled with weapons and machinery, and it extends left and right underneath the upper areas. Ladders lead to catwalks above, and there are glass-enclosed offices above that. This shot looks in the other direction, and you can see a small room off to the side on the right. There's also a tower in the distance on the left that rises out of the lower area. This shot doesn't give you a very good look at it, but this one does. If you look carefully, you can see multiple levels of catwalks that wind around it, which are illuminated from fluorescent ceiling lights. At one point, Hawkeye actually shoots from the upper catwalk on that tower next to one of the office windows. So this is what we're going to try to build using the pieces we have available in the toy box. And we're going to begin, as I said, with the large terrain block here. And let's go ahead and set the theme. And I've already placed my power disc down that I mentioned earlier, so we just need to find that. If you don't have that disc, the kiln texture would work, although I much prefer this one. It's not quite as harsh. So I'm going to set that to be my theme. All of the terrain we're going to put down today is going to use this theme. All right, and then in the terrain drawer, we're going to get the same block, the block that's actually that one. And I think we're going to use the thinner one. Let's do that. So we're going to put this one down, and then I'm going to come back over here and delete this one because I like the thinner one better. So like that, and then we're going to do one more off the end like this. So that is the bottom floor for our ship. And we're going to build on top of that. So we're going to start with that lower area that was packed full of weapons and everything. And we'll begin on this back corner. And I'm going to place a couple of little helper blocks here, just to help us space things out a little bit. We're going to place one off that end, one off that end. And then we're going to grab this small terrain block. It's a 6 by 6 by 6 cube. Let's just make sure it lines up there on the right edge, and it does. So we can go ahead and take these little helper blocks out now. And the overlap on that is kind of important. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and put it down. And we're going to drop 4 of these total. So just like that. And we'll put one more up on the front like this. So this will be the back of the ship. And then we're going to grab this piece. We're going to put this right on the edge of the terrain on the corner, just like that. And we're going to put down a total of 14 of these, I believe. 2, 3, 4, 5, Yep, 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right there, like that. And then a small one here. And another piece here, like that. All right. And then we're going to grab this block here. We're going to put this over here like this. And then we're going to grab another one of these 6x6s. And I want to line this up kind of with that corner like you see there. We're going to drop this right here. We're going to put down 4 of these across the back. And 2 right here. And these are the 2 rooms on either side here with the doors that go in, and you got the cannons out front. So this is the front of the ship, is where I'm placing those. Alright, let me pull up my screenshot here so I can make sure I get this correct. Yeah. Alright, we're going to pick up this little piece and we're going to frame in the doorway. So this is going to go in like this. Actually, that's going to go back like that. Okay. With a terrain cube underneath on this side. And actually, I got to move those over. Sorry. Those go in this corner. So those sit in there like that. And then we've got, oops, 2 of these sitting in front like that. Followed by this tall column right there. And then we'll put 2 of these on this side for a wall. Okay, so there's the entrance for that room. And we're going to do basically a similar sort of thing on this side. So once again, we'll place this little column piece right here on that corner. And 2 of these, and you can rotate these so they're not quite so repetitive. I should do that on the other side as well. This piece is going to sit in here like this. And then I'm going to place 1 small piece back here like that. And this piece in there like that. And then that piece will sit in there just like that. Okay, so now we've framed in that room. Okay, so now let's go down this side of the ship and we'll finish enclosing the lower area. And I know I'm kind of moving sort of fast-ish here. Oop, already put that there. That's good. But I've got a lot I need to do today, so hopefully this won't be too bad. And actually, we're going to put this in. Sorry. We'll flip that around so it's not quite so repetitive. So we're going to put 2 of those in like that. And then we'll come in and put this in. And you'll see why I'm doing that in a moment. But now we're going to run these all the way down the side here. And there we go. So that frames in the lower area. And if you want, you can flip these around every other one. That would help that not be quite so repetitive. And I would recommend doing that. And I may go back and do that offline. All right. So that's pretty much it for the lower area. Now we're going to come up and grab this piece. And we're going to go ahead and put in the next level up. So we're going to go up 1, 2 levels. And I'm going to run these all the way down the side. Okay. And then we're going to do basically the same thing over here. And when we get to this one, we're actually going to back this up a little bit. So we're going to back up to not there, but there. So just like that. And then this one will fit in right here and right here. And then we have some gaps we have to close in. So we'll put a couple of small blocks there. We'll put a couple of small blocks over here. And then we can put a bit of a ceiling on the room on either side with that piece. Okay, so there we go. And that is the open area down below that kind of extends underneath the upper areas. All right, now I'm going to put in a little spacer block because we need to put in the blocks for the tower. So this one's going to sit right here, and it doesn't exactly matter where this is along here, just as long as it's on that seam. And I'm kind of lining it up with the starting pad down there, so I think that will help. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here next to this and drop this straight down. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll come back and grab our long tiny terrain block, and this is going to sit in here just like this. So not up to that one, not up next to that one, but right in the middle. We're going to go up 3, and it doesn't really matter because the orientation is the same. So we're going to do that. So there's that tower with the catwalks around it. And then we can go ahead and take those out. All right, so now we got the structure of it starting to come into play here. Okay, now for this level, and for this one, we're going to do a couple of different things here. Let me see, where do we want to start? This is kind of a crazy one. All right, let's go ahead and pick up this big block here in the back. And we're going to put that down. And we're going to come over lined up with that block and put this right on top like that. Okay. Yeah. And then we're going to grab this one and we're going to place this one back here like this. Actually, I've got that wrong. This one needs to be over here. This one needs to be over here. I miscounted. Okay, so we're kind of framing in this little back area back here. This is going to line up with that. We're going to put another one on this side, right there. followed by the next one larger, which is going to sit in here like this. And then this one is going to sit like this, not like that, but like this. And this is going to be that little side room. And we'll put a little bit of a ceiling on that, like so. Okay. Hang on a second, I'm just looking at my screenshot here. Okay. So for this, we're going to come back half a block, drop this underneath like that. So there's a little bit of an overhang there, and that is kind of important. Okay. And then this one will sit right on top of that block like that. And then this one will sit here, and then we're going to run a row of these across the back like that. And again, you can flip these around if you wanted to, so it's not quite so repetitive. But there's going to be other things in front of that, so you're probably not going to notice it too much. All right, so that is that side of the ship. And we'll put the catwalks in next time. Again, I just want to focus on the terrain and put all the terrain in, because I think that's going to help. Okay, on this side, let's see. Let's go ahead and start up on this corner. I think it's going to be a lot easier to build from this direction. So we're going to line this up with the edge of that, and we're going to put 4 of these in. Like that. Followed by this little corner. And then we're going to put a piece in here. And we're going to line it up like that. And then the next size larger will sit over here. We'll put 2 of those in. This one sits down here like that. This one will sit on the back like that. All right, so there is that level. And it's starting to take shape. Okay. Now, this is where it starts getting a little tricky. I got to make sure I get this all lined up properly. So let's start on this back corner over here. And we're going to line this piece up like that. And like this. And you can see we're creating kind of another little ledge here. That's why I'm using those really big blocks along the back. So this helps us have multiple levels here. And I'm framing in the entrance now where we enter this area from the deck up above. So that piece is going to sit in there like that. The next piece will sit over here like that. And then this little area in the middle is where the entrance will be. kind of frames in that pretty well. Let me see if I've got a picture of this just to make sure I get this right. Yeah, actually these two down here need to slide back half a block. Like that. Okay. And that looks good. Okay, so then coming around over this way, we're going to pick up this small flat terrain block again. And this time, we're not going to line it up with the left edge. We're going to go over half a block this way. And it's going to stick out just a little bit. And there's a reason why I'm doing this, which you won't really realize until we get probably another episode or two down the line. All right. And then on the back side of this, we're going to put in these. And actually, you can kind of see why I did that offset like that, because this gets us onto this block here so that we have a little bit of overlap there. And when we're underneath looking up, we don't have a gap. So that's one of the reasons why it's offset. And you say, well, why wasn't this all the way back? And then the left edge of this can line up with the block below. Well, there's some other things happening here besides just not having a gap back there. And so that's why it's set up that way. Okay. And then on this end, we're going to grab this piece, drop this down, bring it up, and line this up so that it's flush on that side. Of course, we need two of these to cover that whole area. So now that encloses those little rooms on either side. And this one's going to stick out just a little bit here. And I can't really put this out because that's going to stick out there. But we could put a couple of these blocks here just to plug that gap. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to hold off on that side for just a moment. And we're going to come back and grab this. And this piece here is going to sit underneath here. And let me make sure I've got my screenshot here, because this is, the positioning of this is really important. So I got to find my picture here. Here it is. Okay, we're going to actually start with this smaller one. We're going to go line it up with the edge and then go half a block under. And then we're going to go one block this way, so two little nudges in that direction. And that takes us up against the wall there. So now we can put this in, and this goes right up against those pieces there. So that gives us another deck there. Okay. And then over here, we're actually not going to go all the way over. We're going to go over just a little bit, like that. And like that. Okay. And then we're going to go to the right and look for the ramps. And I'm looking for that ramp right there. Okay. All right, now we're almost done, I think, for today. This is starting to look pretty good. Now this little area, this is where you take the ladder up to get up to one of those little glass enclosed offices. This ramp leads to the other one. And so to kind of block this in, I've got a screenshot here that I'm going to use, which will help me do this. Probably be quicker just to pick this piece up, put it down. We're going to come back up over here. And I think this actually sits back half a block. Yeah, but that doesn't actually go there. Hold on just a moment. Let me take those back out. This little area is kind of tricky, so I got to make sure I get this right. All right, let's put the ceiling on first. And I know this one has to line up here like that. And then this piece goes in here like this. Okay. All right, and then this piece sits here like that. That's what I needed. And we're going to put two of those in. And a wall here lined up like you see there. We're actually going to stick this out that direction. And this is really important that we get this right. You'll notice it's half a block over. It's not lined up right with this terrain seam here. It's actually over at this point. That's because this block, there's a half a block gap here. And when we put the catwalks in, it's going to connect up with this. So this is why we're doing it that way. That's why it was so important that I get that right. All right, then we're going to put a little block in here to kind of block in that corner. This block sits in here like that. We're going to put this one in like this. Another one of these off the end of that. And then this one is going to sit in here, not like that, about halfway back like this, so it's lined up with the ones below it. And then this one sits on this side, followed by that, followed by that. You can see how this all lines up here. And this is where those offices are going to sit. And I'm going to need a ramp to get up to this one on this side. So we're going to put this piece down here like this. I'm going to put a ramp to get there. And then just to kind of finish this off a little bit, we'll come up to Building Sets Group 5. Go to the right, and I'm looking for the Toy Story pieces. because we have this covered walkway. And this is going to sit in here just like that. You can see the glass floor is lined up with the surface of the blocks we just put in. This one will sit in here like that. And so there's our little glass enclosed offices. All right. Well, I think that's a good stopping point for today. Next time we'll begin adding in some of the details, like the catwalks and ladders. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you'll come back on Wednesday to see the next episode in this build. Or better yet, subscribe to my channel by clicking my photo in the lower right corner, and then you won't miss it. Have a great day!